And then Teresa, let me know when you see it, okay?
Okay. Patty M, can you let Patty A know we're coming in?
That's what I'm doing. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Let me push this back a little bit. And then I'm gonna do this. Welcome to my kitchen. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. See my table here, what I got set up. Hold on, back it up.
That's a lot of stuff.
It is, it is. It's a lot. You know, I like a fancy drink.
Well, yeah, it has lots of
Honestly,
flavor,
right.
layers. Yeah.
I mean, I will
wonderful.
make a whiskey sour on the spot, no problem. And sometimes the way I prefer it is the traditional way with the egg whites. But tonight, well, that's pretty good. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays. Let's talk about alcohol. Okay, so we're going to get this party started. I want to welcome all of you. And for those of you out in YouTube land, welcome, welcome. We still have Spot.
Here's your reminder
Alexa,
to take my medication.
stop the reminder. Of course, she can't remind me of anything else, right? Alexa, stop. Shh, tip it. There you go. Anyway. Okay, so
Cat herder.
we have a few demonstrations after I start drinking. Okay, after I make my cocktail, I'm going to introduce Andrea. I'm going to introduce Isabella, and we're going to get going with this. And I hope you guys stick around to the end. I have a few announcements to make and some thing to show off. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to get some ice out of the freezer.
It's a beautiful kitchen, Teresa.
Okay. So the first thing you do, the things you need, you're going to need some grapefruit juice. You're going to need some tequila, some ginger beer. I have a little bit of the vanilla for the glass. I have my ginger syrup. I have some lime juice. I said ginger beer, and then these are the pomegranate arils. And then I have my plate of sugar and salt with my little star. Is it star anise or star anise?
Anna.
Thank you, star anise. That's gonna go in my drink afterwards. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna the recipe tells you to use the vanilla around the rim of the glass to add the salt and sugar. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paint it on because it's really runny otherwise. I have
That's
a
for her
friend,
edge paint.
right? Oh,
I was
I think
thinking
it's we're supposed to be tapping, right, Isabella? I have a girlfriend who makes homemade vanilla, and
Ooh.
it's really good. And she was kind enough to send me some, and it's delicious. And I've since, of course, used it all. And I think I've told her a few times that I've used it all. And yet here I am using store-bought.
Is your girlfriend watching tonight?
She might be.
Who is
Might
she?
be. She
Quit
might have
bringing
left
it up.
already.
It's me.
It's okay. So she threw herself under the bus. So
Yeah, I make my own vanilla.
she does. And it's delicious. And the store-bought sucks. So I'm just going to dip this in my plate like this, right? Anybody following along? I think Lori's drinking with me tonight, right? Okay. So I'm going to add my ice. Do like it's a little full. Okay, so now basically let me move some of this stuff out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to add 3 ounces of grapefruit juice. You know, all of this entire drink is to taste, so you can do it however you want. And I'm only measuring because you guys are watching. Whoa, and I'm filling because you guys are watching. Okay, then the tequila, that is 2 ounces. If I can get the lid off. There we go. One.
You're not pouring those as full as you did the grapefruit.
No, I know.
Well, you know, I'm trying not to spill. Okay.
We're not on bar rescue.
Then you add squeeze of lime, sorry. It says an ounce, but it's like, whatever, you can put however much you want. I'm not gonna measure lime juice. And just squeeze it in there. And then
That's a nice juicy
so this is
lime.
my ginger sage syrup. I'm just gonna add maybe that much. Give it a stir. And then top it off with my ginger beer. And then to make it pretty,
Mhm.
we're gonna throw in some pomegranate res. And then star anise. All right, let me wash, my hands are sticky. All right, here we go. Where's my towel? I did not get prepared for this. I'm not usually in the kitchen. Hold on. Okay. So let's try it, shall we? Anybody that's still, hold on a second. Teresa, you had a raised hand. Somebody's not doing her job by watching for questions, I guess.
Well, I was going to, but
And I
you were
said,
like,
Sue, I'm talking about
yeah,
myself.
you didn't stop at all.
Hi.
Teresa Burgess,
I-
do you have a question?
I do. Thank you.
What I do.
I wonder, okay, I don't know. Star anise, do you buy it like that in the spice aisle? Where do you?
In the
come-
spice aisle. I got it
Okay,
in a
it comes-
package, but you can get it in a jar, I'm sure also. Yeah, spice aisle. So let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And let me do this. Okay. Now, who's drinking with me? Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mm.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Great to see you all. Cheers.
That's even better than I remember. Okay.
For another,
We are going to move on. And I'm going to introduce Andrea. Andrea, I'm going to put you on the hot speed now. So I can move on to my sewing room. So here you go.
Okay, run.
Run.
Run with the
Run.
cocktail.
Don't spill.
Think toilet paper derby. You know what? Let me just check one thing because I think I forgot to turn off the auto focusing. And so with all of you drinking, I don't want to make you seasick. So just give me 1 second to check this out here. I forgot to do this.
And Sue's flashing Christmas light necklace might induce seizures.
Oh dear. No, we don't want that.
I can turn that off.
No. I just mean in addition to the autofocus.
Okay, yes, for sure. Actually, this is slower than the one that was. It was like, there's 3 settings.
Well, it's not wanting to open up. Give me 1 second. Teresa, are you back yet?
No,
Not yet.
Not.
Okay.
no.
Okay, here we go. You know, these controls like to hide themselves.
That's right.
So it's quite annoying. All right, let me go here.
While we wait for Teresa, can I ask Teresa who her friend is?
Oh, yes, you can. Ah,
this is my sister Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hello. She lives in San Diego and I hang out with her in the wintertime, get out of Minnesota.
Awesome.
Yeah, and she cleans my house. So I'm very happy.
oh,
We travel together too. So
nice.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Teresa, is she there?
I don't think so. I
Did
think
she
got
take
lost.
the long way around?
It is a long way down that hallway. And if she got distracted, there's a bathroom and a bedroom, so, God only knows what she's doing.
She may have spilled her drink and went back to make
Oh no, that would be horrible. Oh, gosh. Well, while we're waiting for Teresa to reappear, I'm sure you all saw on the advertisement, I guess, this little gift bag that I'm going to show you how to make. And it is a great fabric leftover project to do. So we end up with these remnants and things like that. Now, what I will say is that I like to recycle or upcycle or things like that. So sometimes you're in thrift stores and you see some really cool garments, sparkly ones or ones that have beautiful embroidery on it or things like that. And you can pick up these dresses for $5, $10, and I will pick them up and I will make different projects with them, slippers, just kind of all kinds of fun little things. So this particular fabric, which is a linen, an embroidered linen, actually this I got from, if you go into shops shops that do custom fabric covering, they will have like rows of samples, right? And these samples typically are as big as a fat quarter. And there was a local shop here who would sell them for $1 a piece. Like, so when they would want to get rid of them for their new inventory, they'd sell them for $1. So you can go in there and get these gorgeous pieces. Like this particular one, I remember on the card, sold for $110 a yard, right? So I got the panel, and that's what this actually was. So, think past the fabrics, right? Like Joann's is closed now, so you're stuck with online buying or quilt shops or, things like that. So to me, it's kind of like going into the thrift stores and off the rack shops, it kind of opens up other things for you. So anyway, this is one. And then I had made another one. And this particular one is using some sparkly vinyl for the holidays. And you can use vinyls, you can use leathers, if you wanted to. So depending on your gift, right, might dictate the fabric that you're going to do as well. So if you're giving someone that beautiful diamond ring or sparkling necklace, we might want to do leather. But otherwise, it just makes a fun gift. And I'm going to show you these two, and I'll show it under the camera. So I'm going to talk through them because basically it can be done with any size square. And so this started with an 18-inch square. This started with a 21-inch square. So you see the difference in the size. But I will open this up real quick to show you this one, just to give you perspective on size. So when it opens up, it's completely square, it's completely finished, there's no raw edges inside. And this particular one, you can upcycle in your home or tell your guests that you're giving it to. Will hold the small box of tissues, the square cube type. So they can use the bag, just tuck in the strap and put it in their bathroom or a guest bedroom, and it makes a real cute cover for that. So the other thing is, so we're going to start with this. And actually, let me switch to my overhead because it'll show better. Okay, so these are going to be the styles, oops, this direction, okay, that you'll make. This particular one here, I did a D-ring for the closure and slip it through. This particular one here, I used a buckle slider. And tonight I'm going to do just a basic sewing version, and it will have a buckle slider. But on these two, you'll see I actually used rivets. Let me take this apart here. To attach the straps. Okay. And so you can add hardware to it, bling it up with your rivets. This one also I did with rivets. Okay, so these straps were not sewn on. And then what it's going to leave you with are square corners that you're going to open up, and I want to show you the different sizes. Okay, so this started from a 21-inch square. So this is the largest one, and it's like a little jewelry tray or a little findings, thing they can put in their bathroom on their nightstand. This one I filled with clips so you can see it. So this is made from a 7-inch square. This is from a 6-inch square, and this is from a 5-inch square. Okay, so this started as a 15-inch gift bag square. This was an 18-inch gift bag square and a 21-inch. But I want to show you again perspective. Look, that's how many clips, it held. So it's super cute, and there's no waste to this project. So you can actually make 4 of these if you wish from the gift bag, and you have no fabric waste. Okay, so I'm going to get on to how we're going to make these. Okay, so to start with, as that you've heard me say a couple of times, you're going to start with a square. Okay, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite rulers that I use. Okay, it's not going to fit under my camera, but this is a 20.5-inch square ruler. So, which I absolutely love, and I use it for a lot of things. So I can cut up to 20.5 inches in one shot, as opposed to having to use a cutting mat and, rulers like that. So here, what you're going to need is you're going to want to choose an exterior fabric and a lining fabric. These are both quilters cottons, so I have lined them with SF 101. So it starts as a square. I've cut the corners out already, and I'm going to talk how to do that. But this was a square 18-inch piece. And the cool thing about doing 18 inches is our vinyl rolls, the beautiful vinyls that Isabella sells, Ellen sells. They're 18 inches wide. So it's kind of the perfect size, and then you just cut them in 18-inch increments. So I fused the SF 101 onto it while it's square, and then I'm going to cut my corners. So you see here tonight, we're going to be doing a directional fabric, and it's interesting because this is all one piece, right? So with directional fabrics, you're going to want to be mindful because these are going to be sides. So you're going to have a front and a back. If you choose something that has a print or a true directional, on the back side, it could end up being upside down. So this is going to be stripes. So the stripes will be going on the front and back on the one I've started, going vertical. But then on the sides, they're going to be going in the opposite direction, which is kind of cool. So just be mindful of when you're choosing your fabrics. Try to stay away from, directionals, because you're not going to want to put seams into this type of thing here. So anyway, that's what you're going to start with. Then you want to cut away your corners. And the way to think about it is whatever size square you want to do it in thirds. So meaning this is 18 inches. It's equal where I'm going to cut a 6-inch corner. I'm left with 6 inches of fabric and then a 6-inch corner, right? So divide by 3, the 21-inch square, right? We have 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches. That's an easy way to think about it. Make it divisible by 3, and you will end up with a nice square piece, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do, and I'll show you for this particular one, I use, pull this one out. You could actually do the entire project if you wanted to with the 20-inch square. type ruler, but it gets big to manage. So this is a 6.5-inch ruler. So I used it to cut out my sides. Okay. I have a lot of rulers. That's because I'm a quilter too. So it's just a tool. So you're going to want to cut your corners, all 4 corners exactly the same. And that is going to then give you your 2 pieces, your exterior and your lining. So I like to cut them together. And what I will do is just kind of pin in centers away from corners and just cut them together. If I did this vinyl one here, I did cut my vinyl separate from my lining. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to stitch basically a scant 1/4 inch on all of your T-points. Okay. Just do that. And then you're going to turn it inside out. And I have one already started, so I'm going to show you. Okay. So you're going to turn it inside out. So here you'll see now, you see my SF-101 is on the inside. And after you turn it inside out, give it a good press, each T mark, and then you want to top stitch, okay, across the top there to give it a nice finished look. Now, what you're going to be doing with this project to not have any raw seams on the inside is basically what we call a French seam. So if you've heard of that or you don't know what it is, you're going to learn that technique tonight. So after you top stitch all 4 points, before you move on, you want to do your strap, okay? And your strap can be anything. This particular is just a grosgrain ribbon. This one's 1.5 inches wide, so I do have a 1.5 inch slider. I will tell you it's a little bit loose, and I'll show you when it's finished. I probably would add a snap to it, but what you want to do is let the center float. So all you're going to do is attach here and then here. And so this one, I already stitched a box on this end, but this is where I actually attached the rivets on the other 2. Okay. And when you are doing your strap piece, cut it 10 inches longer than your square. So we have an 18-inch square. So I've cut this 28 inches in length. And that is going to give you enough strap to come around through your buckle and then have a little handle if you want it, or you could cinch it all the way down. Okay, so 10 inches longer than whatever your square, starting square is. Okay, so I do stitch right through, so you'll see it on the lining side. I think that's totally okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the machine and I'm just going to stitch this in place. Now, what I've done here is I have not stitched this over the bar. I just have it lightly glue basted in place so that I can stitch it and attach it all at once. I like to draw a line 1 inch down, and I position my hardware at the 1 inch line. And same thing on this side, I like to have it 1 inch down, but you can play with that, okay? It just gives you some play and space as opposed to putting it right at the top. But again, it's your gift bag. You'll play with them and create however you want. The D-ring one, I did put up at the top, okay? So I'm going to just put this back in place and I'm going to go over to the machine and stitch that real quick. And you want to find center. Okay. All right, I'll be right back just to do this box before we move forward.
Andrea, do you want us to move your to the other account so we can see your sewing machine?
I'm just sewing on the box. We'll switch when I do the sides.
Okay.
Okay, it'll just take me 5 seconds. Maybe.
I've missed everyone. It's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Isabella.
Too long.
You know, it is Sparkle Friday. Did everyone wear their sparkle?
I thought it was Saturday.
Oh, Lord, you're right.
We carry over.
Cheers.
We can have sparkle every day, Teresa. Saturday doesn't matter. We can have sparkle every day.
Right. We can't.
When you're retired, every day is a Friday or a
That's right.
Saturday, whatever you choose.
Yes. I actually spotlighted you, Andrea, on the machine.
Okay, thank you.
What does your sticker say? Life is short by the fabric?
This one, yes.
She has the best stickers.
I have them all over. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see those one I can't see. And then this one. This particular one says, can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay. It says it's not what we have in our lives, but who we have in our lives is what matters.
That's right.
be
So,
true.
okay. Okay, so, and I used a water soluble marker so that you would be able to see it on the screen. Okay, and that'll just come off with water. So now this is the fun part. And I'm going to turn on my iron because we will do a little pressing. So to me, this is like the quick down and dirty version, not having to do any rivets or anything like that in it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start creating the box. So you're going to fold up the 1T and you're going to align the edges here. Grab a couple of clips. Okay. And we are going to sew this here. I like to do it at a scant 1/4 inch or a little bit more. And when we go to do the French seams, that's going to encase the raw seam. So if I do this at a scant 1/4 or less, my 1/4 inch should be able to encase that raw edge. If you're not sure if you hit that mark, you can trim a little bit away and it will then make sure nothing is sticking out. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch at a scant 1/4 inch here. Now, because there's bulk here, okay, I will prefer to start at the bottom edge and I'm going to back stitch at both. But that way my hump, so to speak, is at the far end for me to go off rather than trying to come on. If I was going to try to come on this edge, I would be using a hump jumper, okay? You never want your presser foot to be in a skiing uphill position, okay? Because that's when it doesn't want to move forward. If you see uphill ski position, just put something under the pressure foot to bring it up even and it will go, okay? Hitting the gas pedal faster doesn't make it go, okay? So let me sew this. If you want to switch back and forth, Teresa, that's okay.
Okay.
And for this one, I will use a construction stitch, so about 2.5. Oops, sorry about that.
Earthquake.
Yeah. It's just you drinking. Of course it did. Mhm. One second to just reach in the needle because something happened.
Okay, so people who do not eat turkey for Thanksgiving, what do you eat?
Everything else.
What's your
Standing rib roast.
Ooh.
Belgian waffles
Ooh,
Oh,
one year
with
we did.
strawberries and whipped cream.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. One year we decided to do all appetizers. It was so fun.
really good?
Okay, since we're at the machine, okay, I stitched the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue around and I'm going to line up the next section and I'm going to stitch the same way. Okay, and then I'll move to the next section. So basically we're going to sew all 4 edges exactly the same. So I will do that while you continue your conversation.
Now I'm hungry. Isabella, what did you say you do for Christmas, for Thanksgiving?
Usually do lobster because
Ooh, yum.
none of us love turkey, and I feel really bad about buying a big bird and then we only eat a little bit of it, and nobody likes turkey soup or anything like that. So I usually end up throwing it out, and I feel really bad about that. So
Yeah.
2 years back, we switched to lobster, but my mom is here this year. I just picked her up on Wednesday. Thursday was her 70th birthday, which we got to celebrate with her. It was super special, and she does not like lobster, so
Oh boy.
you could try a turkey breast. We usually do a turkey breast and then a ham. A
Yeah.
really nice ham.
Carla, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, yeah, mine wasn't turkey related because our Thanksgiving is over already. But
That's right.
yeah, I'll just say a fresh turkey is the way to go if it's small. And yeah.
Yeah.
Easy question is, what was your when you put the initial right sides together just to sew with the SF 101 exposed? What did you use? A 1/4 inch seam or 3/8, or what did you use when you initially assembled the 2 units before you turned it inside out?
So this part up here.
Yeah, just the whole seam that you went around all around.
So I stowed at a scant 1/4 at the T's, a scant 1/4 before turning it right side out.
Oh, you didn't go all the way around. Okay.
Only across that T. Okay, you're not doing
Oh,
your sides. The sides all stay open.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And that's a 1/4 inch? Oh, scant 1/4 inch.
I do a scant 1/4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrea, I have to say that tonight is the first time that I've heard your New York accent come out.
Oh dear.
I know,
Oh
right?
my
She's-
God.
You have to hear it when she says coffee.
What did I say?
Coffee.
What word? What word gave it away, Isabella?
Quarter.
What? A
Quarter.
Quarter. A scant quarter.
Quarter.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, I've been gone 30
Andrea.
years.
When she's tired or not happy, it really comes out. I love it. I love
That
hearing it.
reminds me of the time when Inez was talking, and she's from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, am I talking? My lips are not moving. That's me.
That's awesome.
From New Orleans and transplanted somewhere else.
So born and raised?
I am, and I
Yep.
think she was too.
Okay, very cool. Awesome.
She's in Oklahoma, isn't she, Andrea? Inez?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
She's local. Yeah.
That's right. She was lucky for the retreat.
She, I think, helped
She-
at Robin's shop that night.
Yeah, she was. I got to meet her at Robin's shop, and I was so floored how tall she is. I'm like, you don't know how tall anybody is when you see them only from the shoulders up, right? And like, wow, she's really tall.
Yeah.
I'm about 6 feet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, you thought I was really tall, Teresa.
Yeah, so the reason why I thought you were taller than you actually are is because of Sue. She showed me a picture of the two of you, and you're like 3 heads above her or something. She must have been on her knees. I don't know. It was hysterical to see. She was a lot shorter than you.
Well, I am short. She's, yeah. Plus, she had another head of hair above that.
That's
so-
what it is, right?
Yeah, I have my big hair.
The big hair.
Big hair. Okay. All right.
Well, I've
Ray,
never-
I love the big hair. I am definitely an 80s girl. I love big hair.
Yeah,
And why?
I'm 80s all the way. Yep, I graduated in 84.
Oh, me
So-
too.
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
Yep, it was all the disco and the big hair and yeah.
Yep.
so- But my hair just wants to be big. So
What on
if I
top?
go anywhere that's humid, oh my gosh, forget it.
Well, yeah,
Um,
same here, but I don't like the straighter looks. They just don't look good on me. It looks like my hair is greasy when I try to, do the straighter.
But did
Uh-huh.
you do the big hair with the Aquanet?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Aquanet.
Aquanet, baby oil at the beach,
That's right.
Gosh.
Right.
Good
Things
I
are good.
remember having a hair product that said it was actually wind tunnel tested.
Oh my
Hysterical.
I'm seeing the hair that goes back.
Wind tunnel tested. What was the brand of that?
I don't remember, but it was like a gel, and it definitely held your hair.
You're still washing it out.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's great.
Okay, so very quick, sewed up those edges, okay? And you'll see it's just, I'm actually less than a scant quarter. Now, if you were like, oh, it's a 1/4 inch, it's okay. What you can do is just lay it down on your cutting mat and just trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch, right? So you would just take a ruler and just trim it down. I would put the 1/8 of an inch on the stitching line from my ruler, and then I would just trim away the excess. Okay, and it'll make sense as to why you want to do that. So now after it's sewn, you can turn it so that the right side is out. Okay. Now I have a pressing bar and I forgot to bring it into my room. So what I will do is I'm just going to lay it flat, okay, for this purpose. And I'm going to just kind of press that seam open a little bit, so that it's going to look nice and finished on the outside. So you can just rotate each one. Okay. And just lightly press that seam, get it to lay pretty. And if you have fabric, after you've cut it, if it is like shifting around on you, you can just baste the pieces together, those open sections that we don't sew together. You can actually just stick some glue in there if you felt you needed to. But
That's so pretty.
yeah, so I mean, super easy, super fun. I mean, you can use fat quarters. A fat quarter is 18 by 22. So 2 fat quarters probably cost about $6 plus your SF-101. And then whatever you choose for the webbing. On the other 2 bags that are my samples, I actually made the straps, doing a quarter fold with fabric. So gift bags these days, you buy these paper gift bags, they cost, $5-6 a piece. And so anyway, so here is now our square, right? But we want to make it pretty. We don't want to see these raw edges in there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to reverse now. And I'm going to put this together. Okay. And here, the goal is to encase that raw edge. So you can see at the top where that falls. So I can determine, okay, I need to stitch, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe even a little bit more because I didn't trim anything away. But that's what you're going to want to look for, is to have your needle past that seam allowance that you can see in there. So again, if you wanted to, you can press this flat if you felt you wanted to do that. And you're going to want to change your stitch length to be a longer stitch length because now you have a lot more layers here. And so I'm going to lengthen mine to probably about a 3.5 or a 4. And I'm going to stitch. Now again, I'm going to have that bulk here. So I'm going to choose not to start at this end. I'm going to start at the end that's pretty flat. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate that, and I'm going to do the same thing for each side in rotation. And if you wanted to, because it's now together, you can actually probably prep 2 sides and then sew them, clip 2 sides, and then you just have to clip the other 2 sides. Okay. All right, so I'll just go back to the machine.
Okay.
That transition was amazing.
Flawless.
So this is one little hump jump that I use.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, it was like on some, it says Estee Lauder. It obviously was a zipper pull or something. But I was like, it's so cute, but I didn't want to throw it out. And it's like the perfect thickness.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Look at that edge painting.
Edge paint, yeah.
Edge painting. Look at that, Isabella.
My
Tap, tap,
my mom used to be an accountant for Woodward and Lothrop, and they used to for the cosmetic department. So we used to get a ton of Estee Lauder stuff. She used to
Oh,
always buy, yeah.
fun.
My mother-in-law used to work for Estee Lauder in New York.
There it is, New York.
In New York. And we used to get a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
remember when I was like 15, 16, my mom told me, she's like, you're not buying that dollar store or, cheap Kmart brand makeup. I'll
Right.
get you some, because she was really about, not buying like the cheapy stuff. And,
Mhm.
she got the good discounts. So we always had, really good Estee Lauder or whatever other high brand
Mhm.
Clinique and, things like that. So.
Yeah. All right, so after you do your first one, you can kind of take a peek and do a test to see if you encased it. So let me just cut away these threads. Okay. So you can look inside and you should see, oops, a finished seam. You should
Of
not
course,
see
how
any
perfect it is.
raw edges. inside.
Beautiful.
Okay. So we're just going to do that around each side. And I will tell you, depending on the materials that you're using, like for that vinyl, it was a pretty stiff vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it over under this camera. Okay. What I actually did is I used press plates, and I pressed this flat as I could get it before I actually stitched it,
Right.
just to try and reduce that bulk. If you don't have press plates, you can use key fob pliers. You could use, cover it and use, your mallet or dead blow, just like bag making. Take out some of that bulk. Okay. Alright. So, and just make sure your tail is out of the way. You don't want to stitch that underneath.
Your ribbon also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be stitching on that. So now here's that one. Whoops. Wait.
Who's on their second drink? I see you, Susie. Oh, Laura.
And
Oh,
I don't
Lisa.
drink, so I'm sitting here going, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Oh,
All
good.
those aches and pains from the yard work have kind of disappeared.
That's good. I'm glad.
I think mine was 2 in 1. So
I
I'll
was-
say
Well,
I don't mess around to make a double.
Eileen, I'm telling you, Eileen, you took a place in my heart when I heard that you had a drive-through that you could get a cocktail from.
Oh my God.
I was like,
that was our
what?
first. That was our first happy hour, or our
It
first
was.
Saturday night in a workshop. I left
That's
after the
amazing.
workshop and went to the daiquiri place.
Oh my gosh. That doesn't exist in California, just FYI, and I'm
No.
so jealous.
It exists pretty prevalently in New Orleans.
I bet. That was
Wow.
But we
awesome.
don't drink them until we get home.
Okay. Sort of.
I promise.
During COVID, a lot of the restaurants down here, you could order drinks to go.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Hmm.
So, how do they validate that? How do they go, okay, I'm going to let you walk out? Because in California, you can't do that. And so
I have no idea, because
Interesting.
that's the thing that kept throwing us is, you don't know. I mean, you can't normally, because I live close to a beach town, and
Yeah.
you can't walk around with alcohol on the beach or the
Mhm.
boardwalk or
Right.
anything, but you certainly could order drinks. And during COVID, I think they were just trying to keep the restaurants
Yeah.
afloat, and it just kind of showed you, that all the rules go out the window.
Right?
We
It's
had
kind of
them,
like,
we had them to go too, and this is what the jars that came in. I saved them because I use them in my craft room. But during COVID, we got cocktails
let's
Yeah.
see
and we
those
ordered the
jars.
food to go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
And so they would
Wow.
just,
From a
yeah,
restaurant.
just a screw on. And so you could get whatever fancy cocktail you wanted, and they would come in these jars
Wow.
with your food, and they brought them out to the car
Wow.
for you and put them in
Oh.
your trunk for you because you
Oh,
paid for it online. It was great. But
that
I
is
still have these.
amazing. Linda, I just have to admire that beautiful Lilu bag in the background. Uh-huh. That's the beauty. Love
It
it.
is.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oops, I got a little tails here. So then basically that's all there
Are you-
is to your bag.
Are you done, my dear? Let me switch you back. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. I disappeared.
You're like,
Okay.
great.
All right. So here's the front.
It's so cute.
So I'm going to show you. So this is what I mean for the stripes. So actually, let me get it all situated. I'll do my little buckle. 1 second. Now this ribbon is very thin. So I'll show you what I would actually add to it, I think, but before I cinch it, so the front and the back, okay, are vertical.
Mhm.
But if you look at the sides,
That's cute.
yeah, so
So cute.
stripes would be really fun to do
Mhm.
these bags with.
Love it.
So then you just kind of, will end up shaping it. I can actually put, this is just like a little French scarf, lace scarf. So depending on what you want to put in it, you can say, well, I want to cinch it completely closed or create a handle type thing. So there it is.
So cute.
Very
Yep.
cute.
So what I would do for a handle, because you see how easy it slides out. So if I made a handle, it would slip out. So what I would do is determine, okay, this would be a good place. And I would just add a little snap to it
Mm-hmm.
right here so that it would then close up. So let me switch my camera to the front one and I'll show you. Yep. So there you have it. Just as easy as that. Quick,
It's
quick.
So cute.
Love it.
Very
Mhm.
cute. You
Very
could
nice.
try finding some cute prints and solids of thrifted sheets and
Mhm.
use that. You could get lots of those for $2 or $3 or $4 or $5. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
you.
So, and I don't think people will throw these out, right? They
Right.
would either find something to use them for or regift it.
Mhm.
So I think, it's just a great um, type of gift thing. Plus, it's so pretty, right?
I think it's awesome, Andrea. And I received a gift in a gift bag once that the tag said to forward the bag, right? And there was a way to document the location of it on an app or something so that you could see like if it went all over the country or wherever it went.
Mhm.
So that would be really a fun thing to do too. It's beautiful. I love the idea of not using paper. Love it. Thank you, my dear.
Well,
Awesome.
you're welcome. So happy
Awesome.
holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. So
You're
much fun.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so next up we have Isabella. So I'm going to bring Isabella up and we'll just get going on it. And hopefully she doesn't have any lobster laying around.
Hi, everyone. Happy holidays. It is so good to see everyone. I feel like it's been so long. Thank you so much for having me, Teresa.
Yeah.
And today I'm going to share a make that I think is very appropriate for the holidays. It is a wine holder. I actually showed this in our very first holiday happy hour. I think it was back in 2022.
Yeah.
I've since upgraded it and I wanted to share that with you today. I actually gave some wine away to all of my kids' teachers last year and it was a big hit. So it's easy to make. It takes very little material and I think it makes such a nice impact and you can customize it in a lot of different ways. So this is the original. It was made out of the Texas double-sided faux leather that I used to carry. I don't carry that anymore. And we added a label here and it was a metal label, but I figured that we can take it a step further and make it out of leather and customize our label. So let me switch cameras here to show you what I have in mind.
My sister made me make a whole bunch of them last year for her to give away.
Nice.
They come together so quickly. It is a lot of fun to make. And like I said, don't take up a lot of material. You can even edge paint if you're feeling a little fancy or just leave the edges raw and it's a lot of fun. So before we get into this, I wanted to upgrade our label options. So I've created some templates, which I'm going to share with you guys in the group. Oh, you guys can see my jammies here. Look at that. It's on top and party in the bottom. Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. All right, I'll show you my bottoms. No, I won't. I'm just kidding.
So I created the little label template. So I have a little ornament here, and then I added the sayings, let's get blitzed. I have one with the Christmas tree, merry and bright. This one is very proper. Santa's little helper, or not little
Zipper. I love it.
And we're going to be making this one together. So this is the original rectangle.
Oh my gosh.
Here's to poor decisions. Right?
They're awesome. I love it.
In the Bag Makers workshop group after the live today. So you guys can download it and you can use your SVG electronic cutter to cut it out. And I will show you how to do it in HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl. And Teresa is going to be talking about that a little bit more as well after I'm done with my demonstration. And then because it is Blingy Friday/Saturday/ I figured you don't even have to do the SVG version. If you have a little pretty brooch, Christmas brooch, you can just simply attach it to the cutout and use that as your label. And these are all leather, but it works with vinyl as well. Okay. All right. So before we start sewing our wine bag, I'm going to should have turned this on. I have a Cricut mini press, just this little guy here.
So cute.
And I normally start out with, so there's 3 heat settings. And for everything that I do, I find that the second heat setting works really, really well. So that's what we're going to be using here. And if you notice, I used a lot of different types of leather. This one is goat skin. This one is the new Italian pebbled leather. This one is something that I've had for a long time. This one is Pongé. And the same setting worked really well for all of these different materials, including the Texas double-sided, which we made a few years back. This one says, why not? All right, so we're going to wait until this warms up, but I like to place it on a flat surface. And you want to make sure that everything is nice and centered and also straight, because it's very easy for it to move on you. And I have a Teflon sheet that I place on top to protect my leather or whatever material I'm working with. So I always start with about 3 seconds, and I like to move it back and forth. I don't stay in one place too long, like that. I'm going to flip this over, and I like to do it from the back as well. So about 3 seconds, back and forth. If you are using a very textured material, you want to make sure that you're not pressing it too, sorry, there's a ambulance going by. Sorry about that. You want to make sure that you're not pressing it too long because you don't want to flatten that texture, right? So let's take a look here and see if we peel this back. Okay, so we have to leave it a little longer because if I peel it back, it's peeling my HTV as well. It hasn't completely transferred yet. So we're going to press it a little bit longer.
Isabella, your nails are beautiful.
Thank you. There's bling on them too.
I love it.
All right, let's see. All right, so this seems to, okay, a little bit more here. So let's do that. And the fun thing is HTV comes in a wide variety of colors, so you can really customize. Imagine like a green faux leather or leather with silver or red HTV. That would be a lot of fun. All right, so It seems that
There it is.
like that. And I am going to put it under my Teflon sheet and
Cut her off, ladies, cut her off.
then give it another press, okay? There we go. And our label is done.
That's gorgeous. I love it.
Okay. And it's, like I said, it's fun to come up with different little things. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and grab, so there's only 2 pattern pieces to this particular project. We have the body, which includes the front, the bottom, and the back. And then we have a label. And the label that comes with the pattern, like I said, it's just a rectangular label, but then you can download the extra labels from the file that I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later. Using your silver pen or a marking tool that you can erase afterwards, we mark the center of this top part as well as this part here, and this is going to tell us where to place our webbing. And all of these markings are on the pattern piece as well. And we are also going to use our pattern piece to mark the label placement. It's now covered with my double-sided tape, but it's there. And I just want to tell you that this works really well for the rectangle. If you are using one of the taller labels, then you may have to move this down a little bit because you don't, or move it up depending on what you want to do, because you don't want this to be too far up or too far down. So just keep that in mind. Okay? The way that the pattern was designed was for the rectangular labels, but it can totally work with the other labels as well. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm using 1.5 inch wide webbing. 1 1/4 works really well as well, which is the case here. This one is a little bit narrower than the one we're using today. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing, expose the tape. And you notice that I added 2 pieces of tape, right? We add a piece of tape here and then a piece of tape, a very long one that goes from one end to the other right here, okay? And I'm going to use a ruler as well because I want to make sure that we are centered. I don't want my webbing to be off. So if you're using 1.5 inches, you're going to stay about 2 1/4 inches away from the sides on both sides. 2 1/4. 2 1/4. And then I like to measure every few inches or so to make sure that things are looking the way that they should. Here we go. Oops. Oops. I love this color. It is so pretty in real life. It's sort of like an antique rose. I love it. And this is, just so you guys know, it's the Italian pebbled that we just got in last week. It is 1 millimeter in thickness, so it's very machine friendly.
Isabella, that looks to be almost the exact same color as the dusty rose that you had in your faux leather.
It is very, very similar in color. You're absolutely right. I think it's a little bit more vibrant than but in the same family for sure.
Really pretty.
And did you guys see my bracelet?
Mm-hmm.
I made it. It's love.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
very cool. Love it.
After I'm done taping this, I'm going to go ahead and tape it up here as well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create sort of a loop. So I am going to do this so that the raw edges of our webbing kind of meet right here where the label is going to go. And the label will eventually hide those raw edges. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this other part of my double-sided tape here. And we are going to line up our webbing. Again, making sure that everything is nice and centered. Perfect. And we are going to take this to our sewing machine and we're going to make 2 rectangles. So the first one, we are going to stitch over here like that. And I like to start the sewing about 1/2 inch below the top edge of the wine holder. And then we're going to sew a very long rectangle that goes from here all the way to here. Again, turning about 1/2 inch below the top edge of our leather here. And then we're going to go back the other way and finish right here. Okay. And then because we're going to our sewing machine, I'm going to bring this as well because after we're done with that, we are going to stitch this in place. Okay. All right, I'm going to switch my camera and I'll meet you there in just a second. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the webbing here. So that's our first little rectangle, and now we're going to do the very long rectangle. So we're gonna pull through all of our extra threads here to the back. So it's nice. So we can do later. This one is not gonna go. So I'm just gonna clip it. And I'm going to take a little piece of double-sided tape and I'm going to add it to the back of my label so it sticks down. And if your machine gets gummy, if it goes through the double-sided tape, just make sure that you place it away from the path of the needle. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the back one. And I'm going to place it so that it covers this area here where the webbing meets. And you want to make sure that you are level and that you are evenly distributed on both sides here. And we're going to go ahead and stitch all the way around. You should probably measure and make sure that the distance from here to here is the same as the distance from here to here, as well as the sides, to make sure that everything looks like you're going to make good decisions, even though it says you're making poor decisions. Okay, and we're going to stitch this down about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of our label here. Make sure that you keep this bottom part away so that you don't stitch it just yet. Okay, so we are back over here and we are going to go ahead and pull all of those threads through to the back so the back looks as nice as the front. And the only thing that we have left to do is to sew the sides. So very, very quick project. It is back on the site. There's 2 versions of this pattern, one that comes with an SVG file for the pattern itself, so you can cut everything out on your Cricut or scan and cut, whatever you use. And then there's a version without the SVG file, in case you prefer to cut it by hand.
Isabella Laurie says, these projects just make me want to go play in the sewing room. Juices are flowing.
Yes. Yes. Good. And I did create a coupon code for you guys as well. Happy hour for 15% off.
Yay. Thank you.
It's valid site-wide, including the sale items. And you guys can use and abuse it until the 20th of November. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm flipping the sides, making sure that everything lines up here, and lines up here. And then all that's left for us to do is to sew the sides, and we are done. This leather does not need to be skived because it's already thin enough, but it's sturdy enough as well. So So I like to stitch this down using about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. We're going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end, as well as here. And let's go back to the sewing machine. I forgot my clippers. Well, and we're done. Except for cutting those pesky threads that I love to do. Just like that. All right. Who's yawning? Should I sleep? Oh no. God.
I was just sitting here thinking how fancy of a wine bag that is. I'd have a hard time giving it away.
Right? I
I would
agree.
just put my bottle of wine in and present it to myself over and over again.
Make different labels for your mood.
Right?
And look, if I'm making poor decisions or Santa's little sipper, I wouldn't even have to put it on straight, the decal.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Oh, so cute.
thank you.
Yay, that's
love it.
awesome.
Nice.
I love it.
Beautiful.
It's
Easy
beautiful.
and a very nice gift. Everybody loves to receive that. And it's in the same, I think, idea that Andrea had of reusing, regifting, and it's fun. So
Absolutely. You know, I was thinking about all of your little tags that are cute. You don't necessarily have to sew them on. You can put a little hole in the top and hang them from the top, right? Like a gift tag.
yeah, you can do this without anything just to kind of hide where the webbing goes, or you can meet the webbing down here instead of up there. That's also an idea. And then just hang it as a little charm or something
Love
like
it. I love it. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you. All
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
right. And
Love
thank
it.
you for the
Thank you.
discount, Isabella. That's very kind of you as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yes. And I failed to mention earlier that Andrea has supplies lists for her demonstration, and I'll be sharing that with all of you in the Facebook group. Probably put in there tomorrow. Okay. All right.
Teresa, before you start, can I say one other thing?
Yes. Let me bring you up.
Okay.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
And I will put in the files, Teresa, the instructions for creating both the bag and the tray, and doing different sizes. But I did forget to mention the tray is done the exact same way. Okay, so you just are going to put your right sides, together. You're going to cut out your corners. Now this is 6 inches, but I do like to do the corners at 1.5 inches so that the width is a little bit bigger, right? I didn't do 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches because I wanted a wider tray. So same exact process, cut out your squares. You're going to stitch across, turn it inside out, and go through exactly the same process. So I forgot to mention that, but yep, and it'll all be on my instructions.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right. So it's my turn. Okay, so let me just say this, that if you have any questions while I'm doing this, I'm not going to be able to see your raised hand. Okay, so if you have a question, just shout it out, interrupt me. I'm fine with that. Okay. I want to thank Patty Anderson, who is one of our team members and also the maker of the Fit Without Fail pattern generator, which I'm going to be using tonight. Studio Auckland. I will say, if you haven't heard me say this already millions of times, this is the most genius pattern I have ever encountered, ever. Okay. So if you don't own it, you really should own it. If you do own it, well, actually, let me say this. So for tonight, I have a demonstration that what I'm doing is I've converted. I'm using her pattern to create shoe bags. So you've probably seen lots of people post pictures of how she's utilized this, how they have utilized this pattern. It was initially intended to put your bags in that you make for people, right? Or for yourself. But it's kind of evolved from there. I've seen people use it for laundry bags, for gift bags, for shoe bags, which is what I'm going to be working on tonight. You can even say remove the cording, if you will, and turn it upside down and cover your kitchen appliances. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it's so unique because it doesn't matter what size you're wanting to make the bag for. It works every single time, and I love it. And so tonight, I'm just going to share with you that I've created 12 SVG files that have different shoes. And for those of you that own the pattern already, the pattern generator, I'm gifting you those SVG files along with written instructions. And then you have this recording as well to refer to. And if you don't own the pattern, this might be your impetus to purchase it. So now, between now and the end of the month, which is November 30th, if you do purchase it, I am happy to share these files with you as well. Okay. So yes, kitchen appliances, turn it upside down, cover it. It's awesome. I could totally span my room in here with the camera. I won't, it's a mess, but I could, covering all of my sewing machines. I use this. It's amazing. It's awesome. So let me switch my cameras. Give me just a second.
Wow. Yes.
All right, let's see. Oh, I got to turn that one on. Hold on one second. Let's do start camera. I will start the camera. Okay. 1 second here. Right. All right. So what I have here, let's get it straight. I'm not a Libra, Sue, but I still like things to be straight.
Whining about.
What's that? Is somebody whining already? Okay, never mind. So
Sorry, that was my cat.
that was your cat whining?
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
whining.
gosh.
He needs attention. I'm gonna mute myself now.
Okay, okay. All right, so what I have in front of me, this is the pattern generator bag. Okay, as you can see, it has a little boxed bottom, right? And it has a drawstring. And I have created 12 different SVG files, different shoe patterns. This is heat transfer vinyl, what Isabella was using earlier. So it's ironed on. As you can see, this is glitter. And I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you basically how to transfer the file from your computer to Canvas workspace, and then how to bring it in, cut it and transfer it, okay? And if you are a Cricut user or a Silhouette user, I'm gonna say that these are probably, the instructions are probably gonna be very familiar or very similar for you, okay? I don't own those machines, but I would imagine they're gonna be roughly the same, okay? And as a bonus, I'm also gonna show you this. So I don't know about you, but I like to keep my handbags in a dust cover. And if they're for me or for my customer, I put them in a dust bag and they're sitting on my shelf. And after a while, you don't know one purse from the other because they're all hidden behind the bag, right? So I created this little clear view window to add to the bottom of the bag to make it really easy to identify. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do this as well. So let me set that aside. And I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to go over some of the things you're going to need. Okay, here we go. Let's get this straight, Sue. Here we go. Okay. So in front of me, I have the supplies that you're going to need. Obviously, we need heat transfer vinyl, HTV, and I'm going to go over a little more information about those in just a minute. You're going to need your standard tack mat. You do not need a high tack or low tack mat. Just use the standard tack mat. You're going to need some weeding tools. Let me bring my light in here so it's a little bit, that's kind of bright, but here we go. You're going to need weeding tools, and these, this kit right here, I bought my heat press, and with it, this came along. And basically, these supplies are helpful in using HTV or even whatever you happen to be cutting on your cutting machine. So you have this spatula, which will allow you to not only help adhere the vinyl to the mat, but also lift it up off of the mat. These are weeding tools, which I will go into a little bit more later. They come either angled or straight. You do not need to use this. You can use a stiletto. Sorry, you can use a stiletto. As you can tell, mine's pretty well loved. Or you can even use a straight pen. You don't have to have these tools, okay? But what's handy about this little guy is that this has a suction cup and it sits down on your table so it stays in place. So my little scraps just came out. And as you're weeding the HTV, if it gets onto the end of your needle, you just put it in here, slide it through, and it takes it right off. And I have to say right now, Patty Mancuso, I love two things. One, that you are here tonight. I'm so happy about that. Two, that you have your home. I'm so happy about that. Oh, and three, you introduced me to heat transfer vinyl. So thank you for that. Okay, so you're going to need weeding tools of some sort. You're also might want some heat tape. This is just adhesive tape that's resistant to an iron or a heat press. So it won't melt. And you might want this in case you feel the need to tape down your design onto your fabric so that it doesn't shift around. And then obviously you're going to need a brayer or a seam roller or this little guy to adhere your vinyl to your mat. You're also going to need, absolutely have to have a Teflon sheet, as Isabella showed earlier. So let's just talk for a moment about the HTV. They come in a multitude of colors and styles. We've got your plain, obviously glitter. It comes in metallic. This is a gold metallic, neon, rainbow, holographic, you name it. It's a big, huge rabbit hole. Okay. So I'm going to set these aside for just a moment. And I'm going to just talk about the HTV. So every brand that you get is going to be a little different in terms of their instructions for adhering, for peeling, all of that, okay? But they all come as two layers. Your front layer, this is the front, so to speak, I will say. This is, do you see that shiny layer? That is a clear plastic layer. They call it a carrier sheet. Underneath that is your vinyl that you actually see the glitter, gold, glitter, blue glitter. That's the front side of your vinyl. And then on the back, this is the adhesive side. This is the side that gets pressed to your fabric. These are important bits of information because when it comes to how you orient your design on the inside the design center, inside Canvas Workspace, how you design it, how you lay it out is going to matter. Okay. And I'll get to that in a bit, but just know this is the adhesive side. Our front side is what you see as the carrier sheet. So if I separate these two layers, you can see this is a clear plastic sheet, right? And the vinyl is behind it. Okay, so this is the front of your vinyl and the back of your vinyl adhesive side. All right, so just remember that. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to take this cover off. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can shout them out. It's okay. Look how shiny and clean this is. Hasn't been used. I got it just for you guys. All right, so this is the right side. We're just going to call this the right side. This is the adhesive side or the back. I'm going to lay it down on this mat. The cool thing about Brothers Scan and Cut is it doesn't matter where you place it on the mat. You can adjust where you need it to be in the machine. All right. So now it's laid down. You can use this thing to do it as well. All right. I'm going to move this out of the way because the next step requires us to go to transfer the design. So you have two options. You can either load the design into a thumb drive and transfer it to the machine, or you can transfer it to Brother Canvas Workspace. And that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so let me just share my screen. All right, so right here, you're looking at my desktop with my shoe bag designs folder. Inside of that folder, you see 12 folders. Those are the 12 different designs, as well as the instructions. So I'm just going to open up one. Each folder has two files inside. One is an SVG, and the other is a CWPRJ, which is proprietary extension for Brother Scan and Cut. So why do I have two files in here? Because not everybody has a Brother Scan and Cut. You definitely have to use an SVG. For those that have a Brother Scan and Cut, you can use either option. But here's what happens. I created the SVG in Inkscape. Inkscape and Canvas Workspace don't like each other. So when I send a file that I create in Inkscape to Canvas Workspace as an SVG, it opens it up really small. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to right click on this, and here where I go open with, you notice it defaults to Inkscape. I'm going to come down to Brother Scan and Cut. Sorry, Brother Canvas Workspace. And you're going to see that it opens really small, smaller than I had intended. So as you can see, it's less than 2 inches square. Now you can use it. It's not a problem. You can resize it, not a problem. It's totally usable in this format, but it's not the size I intended. So since I have a Scan and Cut, I just went ahead and created a file for everybody that has a Scan and Cut. So now you can see the difference when I open this file. This file, if I right click and open with, it goes directly to default to Canvas Workspace because that's the only way this file will open. You cannot open this in Silhouette or Cricut or any one of those others. So you don't have to right click. You can just double click and it's going to open in Canvas Workspace.
Teresa, I have that same problem when I create something on Affinity Designer and do an SVG and import, it comes out really tiny. I have to do DXF files.
So what I did when I created these, because they did come out small, I went ahead and, because if you transfer that SVG into Cricut or Silhouette, it's not going to do that. It's only with Brother Scan and Cut, right? So that's why I created the extra file for you guys so that you don't have to mess with changing the size if you didn't want to. But I'm going to say this about that. So you can see here that the size is much larger, right? I randomly made different sizes for each one of these files. And the reason for that is because each one of you are going to make your shoe bag a different size, right? So you can adjust this to whatever size you want it to be. So how do I know what size it is? So I'm going to click and drag to highlight it. You notice that there is a solid line around the outside of the image, right? Let me move this out of the way. Then I'm going to come over here to the edit. So it's the second image down. It says edit. And in here, you can see the size it is. It's 6 inches by almost 6.5, right? And if you're happy with that size, this file is ready to go right into Scan and Cut. If, however, you want to change the size or do some other edits, like for instance, let's say I'm okay with it 6 inches wide, but I want it to be, say overall, I want it to be smaller, right? So I'm going to go over here just to the height. I'm going to change it to 5 and enter, and you'll notice that it automatically reduced the overall size. So it changed both the width and the height. And that was because this maintain aspect ratio is checked. If you uncheck that, then you can alter the width or the height. They're independent of each other at this point. Okay. But here's the other thing that I can show you. So let's say, let me move this down just a little bit. Let's say, yeah, I like it, but I want the toes to be pointing down. Come over here. You see where it says flip vertically. Now they've been flipped. Okay. You can also flip horizontally, but do you notice nothing happened? Because they're mirror images of each other. But let's do this. Let's say we want to play with this a little bit. So right now, you notice the blue box around the outside. This entire image is grouped. That means every line in here is viewed as one. It's going to move as one image. If I ungroup it, I'm going to come up to layers right here at the top. I'm going to click layers and I'm going to click ungroup. Now you notice all these blue boxes are on the inside now. That means that all of these items are independent of each other now. So what do I want to show you? Let's say I'm going to highlight just this shoe. Now you notice the blue box on the inside and the outside. So this entire shoe is going to move or do whatever I want it to do together, right? So for instance, if I wanted to, you hover over here up to this little dot at the top, and you see how the arrow turns into a circle. If I angle this, just move it. I'm just clicking and dragging. And so then I can turn that out a little bit. Then I can come over here and do the same thing. Click and drag, and it's turned out a little bit, right? The other thing I can do is I can move this forward. So now they're independent of one another. Sorry, let's move that forward, right? So you can do whatever you want. You can change this however you want to, but know this, that if I click inside of this, sorry, I'm trying just to highlight the inside right there. You see that, how that moved? Because I only highlighted the inside. Now I have highlighted the outside. But if I just highlight this, it's hard to do with this small image. Anyway, the point is this, I moved this little wishbone shape, right? Because I highlighted it. So let me undo, you'll see it move back, okay? So if you like this, this is what you're gonna transfer. The other thing you can do, if you come over here where it says duplicate, you have to highlight whatever you're working on before any of these keys are gonna work, but you can duplicate it, you can make more than one, all right? So I'm going to go back to where we were. Now, the last thing you want to do before you transfer this design to your machine is you want to highlight the whole thing and make sure it's grouped. So, because I just went back, it went back to being grouped. But if all those individual squares, the blue lines were inside of this design, you would know it's not grouped. But all you got to do, if you're not sure, is come up to layers. Group is grayed out. It means it's already grouped. You can't group anything that's already grouped. All you can do is ungroup. You want to make sure it's grouped before you transfer it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this design. Come up here to File, and you're going to transfer an FCM file, and you're going to send it via the internet. And this is just telling you that the machine is ready to download the file. Okay. So I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to stop sharing. And let me get out of this and go back into Zoom. And then I'm going to transfer my camera here. Sorry. Got to turn the camera on first. Okay. And let me just switch that image so it's mirrored. 1 second. Okay. So this is my machine. Okay. This is the screen that we're going to pay the most attention to. But as you can see, I've got my mat down here. I haven't loaded it yet, but here we are. We're just going to pay attention to the screen. So we're going to say, okay, and the carrier will move. I need to load my mat, and I do that here. Oh, sorry. I don't have it in there straight. Now I do. Load my mat. Okay. And I'm showing you this so that you know how to move your design around. You're going to retrieve data. It's up in the cloud. So you see the images here. It might be hard for you to see, but the little flip-flops are there. Now I need to know if that image is on the same location that's going to land on my vinyl that's on my mat. So I have to scan my mat. Right, so we're going to scan it.
Teresa, while that's scanning, there is a question,
Yes.
and it says, do you have to have a laptop or computer physically connected to the scan and cut machine to work or transfer designs?
No, it's all, mine is through Wi-Fi, but you have, if you don't want to use the internet, then you have to you won't be able to do any editing per se, but you can download a file and put it on a thumb drive and connect it into your cutting machine directly. You do not have to use the internet at all. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Okay, so if you see here on the screen, this little outline here is the image of my vinyl. And as you can see, the shoes, these flip-flops fall within the boundaries of that vinyl. So I don't need to move it, but if it were not in the right place, I hit it like that, I just click on it, and I can move it around wherever I need it to be. And I'm just gonna move it up. Okay, so does that make sense right there? You just moved it. And then we're gonna go, okay. And we're gonna say, please select, and we're gonna cut. Now, if you have used this machine to cut leather, to cut vinyl, to cut your interfacing, whatever, but you've never cut HTB before, this is where things change for you. So this is where you need to pay attention. Right here where it says half cut, you notice it says off. Half cut basically means I only want to cut halfway through, and that's what you want it to do. So to turn it on, we go up here to the wrench. You're going to scroll down 1 page, and you see right here it says half cut. You're going to turn it on. All right. And then we're going to click OK. And now it's on. Now at this point, I would suggest you run a test. If you click on test, you're going to get this little triangle. Yours might be a square or a circle. but you just move it around somewhere within the parameters of your vinyl, but not inside your design. And then you would click start. I have tested this multiple times, so I know that it works. And yes, I'm using the auto blade. That's pretty much the only blade I use. This test is just going to tell you, did the vinyl cut and not the carrier page, because that's what you want. You want it to cut halfway through. Okay. I'm not going to run a test. I don't need to do that. So we're going to go back, but I also am not going to cut this because just to save time, I'm going to show you what you would just press start and it would cut. All right. So now I'm just going to transfer back to my other camera. And I'm going to show you. Now, granted, this is the back side of the vinyl. This is a different piece of red vinyl. This is the carrier side. This is the adhesive side, but I think you can see that the image has been cut, right? The idea is only cutting your vinyl and not cutting your carrier sheet, all right? So now you just have to weed it, and it's super simple to do. You're gonna grab your weeding tool, and it's just a pen, so you're gonna kind of get under the edge of a corner so that you can peel that back from the carrier sheet. Get it again, right? So I've peeled it back. And once you do that, you're just going to start peeling. The idea here is that you want to keep the vinyl that you're peeling away as close to the table as opposed to pulling up and pulling over. You want to pull straight across. And so you're going to go gently and slowly, and you'll see this start to appear. All the outside vinyl is being removed first. And if you happen to put a big piece of vinyl on your mat, and once you've cut it, you realize, well, I have all that excess left over, you can trim it down, and then you don't have to waste it. The other thing I should point out is it's nice to add center marks before you start peeling this off on the carrier side if you want to center it on your bag, but that requires you to have cut this straight. Okay, you can't just kind of willy-nilly it. All right, so now we're peeling this all off. That's done. And now we have to peel off the inside. So we're going to weed the inside. So I'm just going to come in here now. I don't know if you can see, but you saw in the design, it's an outline. It's an outline. So you want to keep the outline and you want to get rid of the stuff in the middle. So all I'm doing is once again getting underneath that vinyl. And I'm going to pull it away straight across, just like this. Go slow, go gentle. You may have to help tease it out. See if you can get in the light better, or out of the light. Right? And so you're just pulling that straight across, just like that. So there's one. And it's as simple as this, right? You're just lifting it up and pulling it across. Now, some designs have more intricate details, smaller pieces that you have to pull out. And so that's where, it will get picked up on your needle and you want to dump it into the little container. But there is your design. This side of the carrier sheet is sticky, right? But this is how it's going to go down onto your fabric and be pressed as Isabella showed you, using the Teflon sheet going in short bursts. I say between 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, because each vinyl manufacturer is going to have different instructions. They're also going to have different instructions on when you peel this off once you have pressed it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's another design. This is cute little house slippers, and I pressed this on the fabric. Some brands will require what's called a cold peel, and other brands require a warm peel. Mine is a cold peel, and that means let it cool off before you peel the carrier sheet away. Obviously the warm peel means peel it right away. So all you're going to do is tease this away, and you want to go slowly, because if it lifts, like Isabella showed you, if it lifts, you want to go back and press it again. You don't want to keep pulling it. This may make you feel like it doesn't want to lift up because the carrier sheet is kind of stiff in comparison to the vinyl. But as you can see, it peels away pretty easily, right? And so that's your little house slippers. So then you would, after you've added this to your bag, you would complete the bag as instructed by the pattern. And that's really that simple. I'd advise you to keep your design close to the bottom, like I did here, because this is the bottom, right? If you drawstring it up and your image is really high up or it's really big, then it's gonna get lost, right? What's the best version? I'm sorry, I missed that question. Well, 32 questions, sorry. Okay, what is the best version to get? Best version of what, Lori? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. Go ahead and you can ask your question, Lori. If you were talking to me, I don't know, but I'm going to show you all the little designs right now that I've included in this. So you've seen the sweet little fancy slippers and then the house slippers. This one, I'm going to show you two things. You can press this onto cardstock. That's what this is. But I also want to point out with this design, you want to be careful not to remove the bow like over here, right? If you remove the bow, then you kind of have to leave this outside border that's been removed from this side, okay? Otherwise, you'll only have these three pieces in the middle. So be very cognizant of what you're peeling away before you do. And there's no reason why you can't leave it like this. I will point out, see if I can get this in the camera. There is a line because what was here, what this is supposed to be intended to be removed. So you're going to see a line. And you see that line, maybe not. But the darker vinyls against a lighter background, that outline of where that material, that vinyl was supposed to be removed is going to be seen. Okay, so just be aware of that. Then we have our runners. This was a happy accident. I started with this one. And as you can see, I peeled too quickly and it was lifting right here. So it tore. So I repressed it and it kind of ends up looking like, you know, somebody's walking on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can duplicate it, right? You can do whatever you want. And this is a sweet little pair of girls' slippers. Thank you, Patty Anderson, for that one. And how fun is this? This cute little toddler shoes. Super simple, super quick. And we can't forget the men. So we have some dress shoes, we have boots, and we have some more flats. This is another example of not removing the vinyl where it was intended to be removed. So this whole area in here, as well as up here, technically was supposed to be removed to just have this thin outline with an outline here and an outline all the way around here. Okay, it's up to you how you want to do it. But what else I wanted to show to you is this. This is the actual size of our pumps, 8 1/8 by 6 5/8. It's really big, but hey, I'm not judging. You can resize this any way you want, all right? Just so you know, they are random sizes. And here is an example that you can do your own logo. But remember what I said about how this is on when you're in Canvas Workspace, you don't want your letters to be like this. They need to be like this. So they're upside down because remembering that you're cutting from the back side of your vinyl and you're pressing from the front side so that they turn out like this. Okay. So that is the dust bag, sorry, the shoe bag. Oh, and I have one other design to show you. This is the other sneaker, and I put this on waterproof canvas, and I also added the window, which I realized afterwards, well, if you have the design, you don't really need the window, or if you have the window, you don't really need the design. However, I wanted to share this with you because you can press this on waterproof canvas. I will share also that this is really hard to do with waterproof canvas, right? When you do this, as opposed to how much it comes together here versus here, but you can do it. So you're gonna have to pull this really tight. I would hit it with a blow dryer or a heat gun in this position and let it set so that it's a little bit easier to pull the next time. Okay, but that's the other design. And then really quickly, I do want to share how this is done. Super simple, okay? So I'm going to start with paper because it's easier to show you, right? So I'm going to show you with paper. So when you're in the pattern generator and you've plugged in your sizes, you're going to come out with a rectangle and then you're going to box your corners, right? Based on the instructions. So that's going to end up looking like this, right? Then what you do, because we have a piece of vinyl and that vinyl is 4 inches in height by the width of your fabric, whatever that's cut to be, right? So then you have to accommodate, you make accommodations for that vinyl. So I come up to the top. I come up here to the top and I cut 2 inches off. Now you could cut this piece independent of the back piece and cut them down to size from the get-go, but I just showing you with paper, you're going to cut this out so that it's shorter. So what you end up with is 2 pieces. So this would be your back and this is your front. And they're both like this. This piece is no longer necessary. So you remove that, right? The next step is you're going to come down here and I'm going to line my 1-inch ruler up with the top edge of the box corner like this, and I'm going to cut it away, right? So when you do that, you end up with this. So here is your back, like that. And this is your front. You have a front piece, upper front piece, lower front piece, because we've cut it away and we're making room for the vinyl. And this is a piece of vinyl. It's not 4 inches. This is to scale, but it goes right there. So the only other thing I'm going to tell you, and the rest is follow the instructions in the pattern generator. When I work with woven fabric, and of course this is not a lined bag, I like to pink my edges. Please don't pink your edges before you sew them, okay? Because you're going to lose your seam allowance. So all you're going to do is take your clear vinyl, you're going to place it right sides together with the upper front piece. You're going to sew it at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, just like the rest of the instructions are given in the pattern generator. Then you can flip this down and top stitch if you choose to. I like to do the pinking at this point before I top stitch. So pink, flip it down, do your top stitching. You're going to repeat that process here, but with one exception. You're going to sew this at the 1/2 inch, and then before you pink, I want you to avoid pinking from this mark up, which is in alignment with the box corner. You're going to avoid pinking here as well as down here. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. On this one, I have sewn the bottom all the way across here. It's been pinked, right? All the way across, it's been pinked. The bottom edge, it's also been sewn across, but I did not pink, I did not pink from here to here. This light is really bright, so it's hard for you to see, but I pinked across everywhere except for from where the box corner ends to here. And the reason for that is when you sew the box corners, you're essentially, once this is out here like this at the bottom, when you sew your box corner, you're wanting to stitch right along where that pre-existing stitch line is, which is a 1/2 inch. That's your 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you pink that, you won't have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I want you to keep your stitching regardless if this isn't a 1/2 inch or not. I want you to stitch right along that line when you're doing your box corners to create a nice crisp corner that's in this area right here. So you're going to get, pull this out, you're going to get a crisp corner. You're going to push these corners down inside where you've stitched them. You're going to push your finger into this corner to get it out to a nice crisp corner. And that's simply it. Okay, that's all there is to it. You get this nice view that you can see your purse. You can put it in your closet this way and see it. You can put it in your shelf, on your shelf in your closet this way and see it. Not a problem either way. Okay, any questions? That's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. Come on, there we go. Oh, let me switch that too. All right. I'm tired of my mug in the screen. Hi, I can't see anybody when I'm out here doing all this. Okay, any questions for anybody? For me, for Isabella, for Andrea? All right, I know this kind of went long, but what I want to say to you guys, oh, I have one other thing to share with you. I want to show you. I'm really excited about this. Let me spotlight again. Get this out of the way. All right, so I made t-shirts.
Oh, those are so cool.
So cute. V-neck this time, pink, hot pink. That's for Isabella. We have navy. We have gray. And we have black. So these are going to be a pre-order, okay? And if I'm not being honest, it's probably not going to be until January because I have to order the shirts. I'm the one pressing them, making them, the whole 9 yards. So I have to order everything. But I've been asked many times about getting shirts, so I got shirts. And I'm going to make them available. I will put the pre-order out there as soon as I have my ducks in a row. And that'll probably be January, if I'm being honest. Okay, so the other thing I want to share with you, next year for 2026, the good news is we have a retreat planned. And the bad news is maybe not so bad news, but the not so good news is we are taking a break from our online workshops just for 2026. The team and I are tired. We need a break. But there's some other things going on and it's just needed. And it's not to say we're going to disappear. We'll probably have some random pop-up sew-alongs. I will definitely be in your face all the time. And who knows, I may, I'm female. I can change my mind, right? And decide to do something. But anyway, the in-person retreat is in September. And Sue, correct me if I'm wrong on the dates, September 23rd to the 26th. And then the happy hour is on the 22nd. So make sure you're there on the 22nd in the evening. And it's still in Tulsa back at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. The place worked out really well for us. It was good all the way around. The customer service was really, really good for us. The prices, the hotel location, the airport shuttle, the parking, the whole 9 yards. It was really good. So we're happy to be back there. We're having several projects this time, not just one. I can't share any information with you just yet, but registration will open in April, on April 4th. And I will start promoting more information in terms of what we're doing, more information starting in March. Okay. Okay, so let me get out of here. I like to see your faces. I don't like talking to my mirror. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, I want to say thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Andrea, for helping me out tonight. And Thank you all of you for joining us. Thank you, Patty Anderson, for the pattern generator. Again, those of you that own the pattern, just reach out to me. If your name's on my list, you're going to get the files, you're going to get the instruction. You're going to also get the instructions for the clear vinyl bag. Just let me know. And if you're planning to buy the pattern generator, you have until November 30th to collect on all that, okay? You just have to reach out to me. Okay. I want to say have a fantastic rest of your evening. Thank you all for joining us. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday and a new year. And please don't be strangers with us. Reach out, say hello anytime. We would love to hear from you all. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.